Hello friends, this is Cold Run back with Dragon Age Inquisition. I've been away from the game for a little bit, for probably a little over a week, something like that, week and a half maybe. Um, and so I've forgotten a lot of stuff, and I'm going to try to pick up as best I can, because I did not like rewatch the last video or anything. So if I'm rusty about like where we are with plot, I hope you will give me some forgiveness. That would be appreciated. So picking up some quests to start with. I think these are just, yeah, these are just kind of the gold and whatever. So nothing super. Oh wait, yep. Alliance is reaching ever upward. We received word from Lady Eustace Richelieu, who presumes more and more to speak for the Tybalts. She is also quick to use us and we. Liliana. Lady Richelieu's letter follows. A bold move, Inquisitor. Lord de Rosier was mortified, if not mortally... Right, so we're trying to pick a side in this. Okay, we're trying to support one group and use her to do it. Okay. It is said he cannot bear to show his face, and faces all many of his generation value. I do hope he will do nothing drastic. I also hope that the names behind us remain willing to commit what is necessary to solidify the lines that have been established. We shall see. In your gracious service, Lady Eustace Richelieu. Okay, so... that's kind of, I think that's kind of it in terms of like active quests that are going on right now. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. For the in terms of stuff that like doesn't require me to go do a thing. Um, Now next I want to check on my flower pots. Okay, so we got some flowers growing. So one of the prophet's laurels is done, and the others are sprouting. I'm actually going to leave this unpotted for now, so that they can kind of, when I plant new seeds for the other ones, once they all sprout, I'll be able to collect them all at once. But again, what's the timing on those? Is it in-game days? It must be in-game days, because it must be something about in-game time, because I've been away from the game for so long that they would have sprouted. If it were out of game time. Alright, so next I'm going to head to the Emerald Graves, and then there's some Astrarium. Okay, good. So I'm starting to remember. So Emerald Graves, we took out a bunch of Freeman leaders, so before we push onward with exploring up kind of north and east and doing the Astrariums, let us head back to Watcher's Reach and kind of check in with Fairbanks there. Wait! No, there's something I want to do first, before I even do that. Where is this? Crestwood, I think? Oh gosh, there was a cabin that I couldn't get into, and a Proustian suggested that if I break the boxes, I might be able to get in there. I spent so friggin' long trying to find an entrance or a way to reach there. Is it the Fallow Mire? I think it might be the Fallow Mire. Yeah, I think this is the house. Okay. Let's go try to break through this thing. Alright, cabin in the woods. Here we go. The door was over here, I think. And I think I tried breaking, but I only hit it once. I assumed that it... Two... Oh, look at those boxes break. Oh my goodness. Okay, so some boxes are breakable if you hit them a bunch of times. Good to know, good to know. Alright, what's in here? Gardener Diary, property of Ira Gardner, is written in spidery handwriting on this collection of homemade recipes and remedies. The last entry reads, "First sign of the plague is coughing and going pale, like blood's run out of your skin. Elfruit soothes the cough, but doesn't cool the next day's fever. That's where the spindleweed helps. The ones I planted over by the old shed came in quick. They seem like where the soil is dry. I'll try making an ointment with it tomorrow." Okay, so someone trying to get through the... looks like they didn't get through the plague. It looks like the home remedies were not enough. Never go naturopathic. For the plague, at least. And a book. The Empty Ones. The Empty Ones were a small and short-lived cult based in Navarra and known for worshipping the Blight. Really? and by extension the Darkspawn. Some confuse the Empty Ones with followers of Tevinter's old gods, a reasonable mistake since all archdemons are said to be tainted old gods. However, it is clear from the histories that the Empty Ones did not worship Dumat and his like, but the Blight itself. Following Andraste's death, many of her followers fell into a deep despair. They believed that the prophet's betrayal... This is really interesting, like... I don't know, I'm just trying to follow the path of it, or see if there's, like, an equivalent in today of... I don't know, it's like... If someone doesn't believe in God, but really likes Catholicism, and so they go to church every day, just, like, to be around... Catholic? No, that's a terrible. I'm not gonna try that. But like it's such a weird, like, it's really strange, and it's a really interesting idea. Following Andraste's death, many of her followers fell into a deep despair. They believed that the prophet's betrayal and execution marked the beginning of the end of the world, and that the Maker's wrath would soon come upon them. The most fatalistic of them all gathered together to prepare for their doom. They called themselves the Empty Ones, for they saw themselves as worthless husks ready to be swept away by the Maker's hand. Okay, so it's not totally devoid. It's more about embracing the feeling they get from the Blight rather than like anything deeper in terms of the divinity of the Blight. It is unknown what passed then, but over time the Empty Ones grew to believe that the Blight was to be the tool by which the Maker, it's just a typo, I guess, in game, by which the Maker would end all of creation. They preached that it came from the void, a place of nothing, and that returning to the void was something to be celebrated because it meant an end to all pain and all suffering. No, so this is different. There is divinity in this, but they are taking it, they're almost taking it in a new direction from the original old gods. Oh, this is super cool. Some mistakenly take this to mean that the Empty Ones worshipped evil. No, they didn't. Yeah, I don't get that sense, at least. But that is an oversimplification. The Empty Ones believed the world to be beyond redemption, and that it was the Maker's will that... It was like a doomsday cult. It was the Maker's will that it be destroyed completely. There are tales of Empty Ones scouring the deep roads searching for Darkspawn, whom they saw as the Blight's prophets, in order to assist them in bringing about the next Blight. That's got to be short-lived, because it's not like the Darkspawn would see you and see your intentions and be like, okay, help us, join our team, friends. Like, they would just kill you, right? Predictably, the beginning of the second Blight saw the end of the Empty One. The entire cult made its way to the Anderfels, where they stood in the path of the encroaching Darkspawn, singing in praise of the oblivion that was to overtake them. Singing in praise of the oblivion that was to overtake them, were consumed. Yeah, well, I guess that happens. From Before Andrastianism, The Forgotten Faiths by Sister Rondwyn of Tantervale. I'll say that at least the Empty Ones were... I don't know if honest is the right word, but, like, it's not like they just kind of left... I don't know. It's not like they just kind of left the... like, avoided the Blight and went spreading the good word of how awesome the Blight was. Like, they just kind of dove straight into it, and there's a consistency there which... I don't know, is sort of honest. Oh, I didn't even read who wrote it, but that's okay. Before Andrastianism by Sister something something. Okay, now we... What's that? What is this? Is this something that one of my party members put down? Oh, it must be a trap. Okay. Now I will... Wait. Oh, it's a requisition thing. Okay. Yeah, now I'm going to head back to Emerald Graves. Alright, Fairbanks. I did some dirty work for you.
We'd given them up for dead. Perhaps the stories are true.
Yep, I'm pretty great. Wait, what? Hold on a sec. Am I doing the right thing? I'm supposed to talk to him about having... Oh, not those things. Emerald Graves. Speak to Fairbanks at Watcher's Reach. Maybe... Okay.
Who are these freemen of the Dales?
I thought we already did this.
Are deserters from the war tired of fighting and dying for a cause in which they have
Right.
no stake? But recently, the Freemen have organized, started attacking
Yeah,
anyone
this
and
we already
everyone.
know. How do I... Maybe I have to, like, get far away and then get close to him?
Any news, Inquisitor?
The Freemen have been defeated.
Okay, yeah.
They have so many of my people. Now it's finally over. Thank you. Perhaps with the Freemen gone, we can find a proper home. Argon's lodge was always well situated. Inquisitor.
Okay. Argon's Lodge. Where was that? Was that one of the... I don't remember what Argon's Lodge was, if we've been there. I'm sure we have been there, but I don't quite remember it, so... Okay. So there's a new quest by Wolf. Agent acquired. Hell yes. And so if let me know if I'm right on this. I think what the agent acquired thing means is that it gives me bonuses to my, to the war table. Like, if I have an agent acquired, it'll, like, reduce the time that Liliana spends out, something like that.
I've little to give, but I'll always be grateful.
Gertrude.
The Inquisition will always be welcome here.
Oh, she was the person who's captured.
How did you end up in the Viridian mine?
Oh. We desperately needed supplies and tried to steal some from the Freemen. The mine didn't seem well guarded, and I used to be in the militia in my home village. I don't know why we weren't killed. I do remember Sister Cousteau talking about sending us to the Emprise de Lyon. Maybe I was mistaken. I can't imagine what they'd do with us there.
And you know, I know that Emprise de Lyon is one of those places I have as a plot quest, I think. And so maybe that's at some point, maybe that's like the next thing I do after this place is done. Maybe I open that up. Maybe that'll be a nice segue from Emerald Graves.
I hope things are going well.
The supplies we salvaged from Cousteau's mine have been a great help. Thank you again for saving us.
Yeah, I'm pretty great. And now there's a quest here. I wonder if this will unlock the option to use that friggin' Veilfire thing.
Inquisitor, you saved Gertrude and the others. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And this is bold of me, but if I could have a moment.
Tell me about the Veilfire here.
I'd like to know more about you and the rest of the people here.
Most of us are simple folk. Farmers, fishermen. Jolene over there is a smith. Just people trying to escape the war.
What else do you know about Fairbanks?
He is a good man. He found us when we most needed him. He kept us safe. He doesn't like to talk about himself, so I actually don't know much about him.
I'm here. What do you need?
This is about Fairbanks. There is a rumor that he is of noble blood.
Was he going to try to be king of the Emerald Graves?
Once the war is over, many of us will return to serve our lords, to work their fields, raise their brats. Most of the aristocracy know little of the lives of commoners. They care nothing for us. Fairbanks is different. He is a great man. There is much he could do if he had the power. If the rumor is true, if Fairbanks is noble and we have proof. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you. Does he know?
Fairbanks know about this rumor?
He doesn't like it. And he won't let me discuss it. Stubborn ass.
Yeah, he probably craps on his idea of himself as a man of the people. Which seems... Yeah, stubborn seems a little bit right in this case, because I think something of the last few years has taught me is that you go for power when you can and try to... I don't know, you go for... Power is important. Power matters, and it sounds like this is something he should grab.
This rumor about Fairbanks being noble. What do you want me to do about it?
Oh, I don't mean to impose, but you travel all over the Dales, don't you?
I do.
Perhaps if you found something that could help. I've written everything I know in my journal. You can look at it.
Goodbye.
Okay, so we have to find, like, letters or something proving his nobility. Gotcha. Clara's journal. Clara writes mainly about life at Watcher's Reach. Her curiosity about Fairbanks is interspersed between detailed descriptions of foraging excursions. Watcher's Reach, day 30. I saw Fairbanks looking at an old god medallion as I walked past him. It bore the image of some bird, some kind of bird, and the motto to the sun on blessed wings. Odd. Watcher's Reach, day 51. To the sun on blessed wings. As I'm looking at this, I'm trying to think of, like, is it going to tell me where to go, or do I have to, like, remember different landmarks and go there? We'll see. Watcher's Reach, day 51. The old elf Calder has such stories. Was Calder Kabbath? Why is Calder... No, never mind. That's a different game. The old elf Calder has such stories. He talks about how Fairbanks helped people, even before the war. Calder says there's some who think Fairbanks is actually of noble blood, not a commoner like he claims. I wonder if that has anything to do with the medallion. Watcher's Reach, day 52. I pestered Calder some more to make me stop asking. He told me the story of the Lamarck family. Lord Giroux Lamarck's only daughter fell in love with a chevalier in the service of Lord Giroux's enemy, and ended up with his child. Lord Giroux was furious and turned Bernice out of their home and then had her lover assassinated. Awful. Yeah, agreed. Bernice never returned to her father and fled to the Dales. Her child was stillborn, but Lord Giroux eventually regretted what he had done, and on his deathbed left her lands and titles to her and all her offspring. So Fairbanks is that kid. Why would he have done that if he was certain the child died? Watcher's Reach, day 56. I can't stop thinking about it. What if Fairbanks is really the Lamarck baby? Imagine all the good he could do if he was noble and inherited that fortune. But having him reinstated will take proof. After all, I've heard of the Council of Heralds. There can be no doubt. Maybe the medallion? But anyone could have a trinket like that. There could be something here in the Dales that to help me prove it, but I wouldn't know where to start. Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. Proof of Fairbanks' nobility is that... Yeah, so they tell me where to go for that. Good.
Freeman is dead, and I didn't get to claim one of those kills.
Wait, what?
Maker, this is boring.
Oh. I was honestly hoping she would tell me something about the Veilfire. What is your purpose, Mrs. Veilfire? What do you do? I'll come, like, worst comes to worst. If I really can't get, like, if nothing changes, I'll come back at the end here. Okay, next up, let's go get an Astrarium. Alright, next Astrarium, here we go. What is this? Is this... What could this possibly... Oh god, this is going to be a tough one, isn't it? So these stars in the middle are traps. I don't need those. What if I... Alright, let's just start testing. This is not going to be one where I easily get it. This is going to take probably a little while. So if I start diagonally, then... Oh, I already messed up. There. There. Okay. There. 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 Oh, that wasn't too bad after all. So it's someone with a cloud ahead, like sitting in, like a meditative pose, maybe? Like a god of the clouds, maybe? Constellation Illuvia. Owing primarily to the popular Orlesian tale of the same name, the constellation Illuvia is commonly referred to as sacrifice. During the Glory Age, folklore told of a young woman saved from a lustful mage by being sent into the sky by her father, after which the father killed him. hence the sacrifice. The daughter became the constellation depicted as a seated woman with her head in the clouds. So she was like hiding, not a cloud god. Prior to this tale, Olivia was thought to represent Razakale, Tevinter, old god of mystery. That makes sense too. And the constellation was the source of many superstitions involving the granting of wishes, from a study of Theodosian astronomy by the beloved Sister Orin Petrarchius, not a bard. So the last of the astrariums is up there. So that's something we will come to probably a little bit down the line. Like, I'm not in a super rush for that. Noble deeds, noble hearts. So those three things are within reach, though. So let's go find some proof that Fairbanks is the bee's knees. We're back in Villa Morel. And this must be where the proof is, because this is...
Must be something here. Let's look around.
No, it's got to be inside, right? Well, yeah, it's got to be inside. Is this going to be the thing we need? Probably. Take. A midwife's journal. This time-worn diary was found amongst more valuable items. It is bound in leather and has a solid silver trim, which might be why it was saved. A few entries can still be made out. 16 herring, 9/8. This has been the coldest winter I can remember. Even the river is frozen. No one should be out there, not even this blizzard. So you can imagine my surprise when there was a knock on my gate. A young woman... Oh, this is after she was tossed out of her family's home. She's looking for the Fairbanks cottage. I go out. I say to her, nothing fair about this weather. But yes, you are right at the right place. She throws back her cloak and I see she is heavy, less than 2 weeks away. Please help. She is almost in tears. I bring her into the house and sit her by the fire with some tea and slippers. She is young, not more than 20. Her hands are smooth. They have not seen a day of work in her life. Her clothes are travel-stained but fine. The cloak must be worth at least 50 royals. Beautiful blue trimmed with fox fur. Her name is Bernice, but she won't say more. Many girls come here not wanting to say who they are. I understand. Okay, so this is almost like a shelter of sorts. Bernice had the baby. 25 herring, 9/8. What was the first date? 16 herring, so this is like a week and a half later. Bernice had the baby, a boy, healthy, full head of hair. She named him Évariste. She tried to pay me with a heavy gold locket, a falcon on its face. I asked her what it is. It looks valuable. She says it's her father's and she doesn't care to have it anymore. I tell her she might not, but her son might one day want to know where he's from. Okay, so where maybe the locket is... That's the locket. One winter, March 9/9. A new year. Bernice should be healthy enough to leave, but it is still cold and I cannot turn her out. I will ask her to stay and be my assistant. I have needed help for a while. My fingers are not as nimble as they used to be. Clever girl. She will make a fine apprentice. Alright, so next stays here. Argon's... Okay, that's Argon's Lodge. And the last piece will be in Argon's Lodge after the second piece here.
So this is the Dales. Well, Daisy, wish you were here.
Who is Daisy? Is Daisy someone we knew about from Dragon Age 2, or is this someone new that we're just getting introduced? An old painting. An old painting carved in a wooden frame. An old painting in a carved wooden frame. Paint is rubbed off in some places. Carved into the back of the frame, Lord Giroux Lamarck. The portrait shows the Lord as he must have looked over 40 years ago. He bears a striking resemblance to Fairbanks. Okay, so circumstantial, but I mean, it's Dragon Age. They don't have DNA evidence. Let us head to Argon's Lodge. So this is from that little wooden shack outside the lodge.
Want me to handle that?
I do. Thank you, Varric. You're so kind. You can have this Ferelden Tower Shield. I will take... Ooh. Orlais, Heraldry and Symbolism. This book offers a comprehensive look of the well-known noble bloodlines of Orlais. Of interest are a few lines in the entry of the House of Lamarck. Ami Lamarck established this ancient house in the time of Emperor Cordillus Dracon. Sadly, the bloodline ended with Lord Giroux Lamarck, who disowned his only daughter Bernice. And then the shield of Lamarck bears a falcon volant on the field of sky blue and gold. The house's motto is the sun on blessed wings. Okay, yep. So that should be enough, I guess. The Perendale War, different codex, different context, I'm guessing. Not many people take the road west into Perendale for the sake of pleasure. Few living things inhabit the rocky countryside save for silver miners, wyverns, and an astoundingly pugnacious breed of mountain goat. Maybe those are the same goats that were used as weapons of mass destruction. In far-off days, the mountains around the city were full of dragons, and perhaps this was what first brought it to the attention of the Pentagast kings. Certainly it was not the goats it should have been. Although the region... I love the presence of goats in this game as an ever, they're just there, there's different breeds, and some of them are really nasty. Although the region has belonged to Navarra since the late Blessed Age, travelers here will find that much that reminds them of a provincial Orlesian town. A great carving depicting the lions slaying the dragons adorns Perendale's gate, and many Orlesian lions decorate the city's buildings. And there are still many citizens who cling to the hope that the Empress will restore the city to the Empire. Interesting, so it's kind of a border city, I guess, so it's like technically Navarran, but has a lot of loyalty to Orlais. Historians mostly agree that it was not the dragons nor the silver, and certainly not the goats again, stop dissing the goats. Goats that began centuries of warfare between Orlais and Navarra. It was Emperor Etienne Valmont and the Pentagast. We definitely saw portraits of Etienne Valmont in Halam-Sharal. In 782 Storm, the Pentagast family, fresh on the throne again for the first time in generations and eager to build up the alliances lost by the Van Markham dynasty, approached the empress to solidify a peace treaty through marriage. The emperor, who was under great pressure to produce an heir, set aside his empress of 17 years and wed Princess Soteria Pentagast, theoretically cementing a promise of peace and cooperation between Navarra and Orlais. Promises are hard to keep. By 797 Storm, Soteria was still childless, and the emperor sent her to a cloister so that he might marry his mistress. I mean, that doesn't sound like a great idea. As anyone other than Etienne might have predicted, the Navarrans took this poorly. Angry letters arrived in the imperial palace by the cartload. A small war party of Pentagasts rode into Orlais and reclaimed Princess Soteria. But the Navarrans did not take military action yet. They were strategists and knew to bide their time. In 846 Blessed, while most of the Orlesian army was committed to a war in Ferelden, the Pentagasts began their war against Orlais. The Orlesians rallied to defense and drove the Navarrans from Ghislaine and Arlezans, but at the cost of much of their northern territory. Perendale was lost and never recovered. A lingering sign that peace between the two nations was impossible. They're not still at war. I guess maybe they're just hostile to each other or just kind of like grumbling over the fence at each other. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Jin TV. So what happens, actually, like nobility question, what happens if the king or the male ruler is, tries this where they're not able to bear children and they're like, they go through the series of wives and series of whatever's trying to produce an heir and it never works. I can't imagine they ever adopt. I wonder if they ever like secretly have like their brother or some random dude like get with the wife and try to produce an heir and just claim it as their own. I don't know. Probably a lot of male rulers are probably not in a position ego-wise to do that. I don't know. Okay, so present proof of Fairbanks nobility. Argon's. So let's head back to Argon's Lodge. Before I press forward, let's see if we can finish this quest up. So we're heading back into the lodge, and right, and so this is their reclaimed spot. Like this is where Fairbanks and all will.
True. Oh, yes.
So word is starting to spread, I guess. Fairbanks, let's talk to you last.
The Inquisition will always be welcome here.
Thank you. What's in here? Read. Sir August's messages. Philida. I hope you are well and... Oh, this is the guy we killed, isn't it? Hope you're well and adjusting. This is now your home. The Imperial Army did not appreciate you. Your Empress used you for her own purposes. Forget her. Remember, you are no deserter. You are free. Your friend, Sir August. I hope there's some kind of... I really do hope there's some kind of... I don't know. Detente that they can find with the Freemen, because the Freemen, again, their purpose seems reasonable, even if their methods are not kind of in line with the Inquisition or these people. Tell me about Fairbanks through me. Okay, I found proof.
You were right. Fairbanks is noble by birth. Fairbanks is not even his real name.
That was just a shelter.
Let me see. Évariste Remarque. I knew it from the start. I know just who to give this to. This will be enough to make the council sit up and take note. I'll send this on as soon as possible. Thank you, Inquisitor.
You're welcome. Oh.
The
So
Inquisition will always be welcome here.
So I didn't go to Fairbanks for that. I had the option to go to Fairbanks. I didn't. I had a hunch, I guess. It wasn't really a conscious hunch, but I went to her first because I assumed that talking to him would be progress. But maybe if I had talked to him, he would have had the chance to turn it down. Okay, before we press on, let's actually head back to... And I think probably the last thing for this session. Let me head back to Skyhold and start this mission, so that at the start of the next session we'll be able to get the results. So there's two new ones here. Draw out the Red Templar Lieutenant and capitalize on an alliance with Fairbanks. Let's start with this. I've been told that the Council of Heralds has reviewed the evidence and now recognizes Évariste Lamarck, known to us till now as Fairbanks, as the sole heir of Lord Giroux Lamarck. All holdings and chattel retained by the Lamarck noble house have now reverted to the ownership of Lord Évariste Lamarck. I smell an opportunity. Josephine. Alright, I'm going to go in order of least likely to send on this mission. Cullen, as I understand, Fairbanks never wanted to acknowledge who he was. It was you who allowed word of his heritage to be revealed to the Council of Heralds. I say we leave him alone, let him retain his privacy, what little is left. Sounds good from the perspective of someone who isn't, like, in charge of the Inquisition. I agree. Lord Évariste Lamarck, I would like to see how he fares at court. The game is merciless, and even its best players often falter. A forest-dwelling loner, he'll be butchered, but given an easy target, predators often become arrogant and expose their weaknesses. We'll be watching. This is actually a great point that kind of is a smarter way to say what is like a more political take on Cullen's perspective, that someone who doesn't want to be in the game will not be good at the game. So, Josephine, a rebel helping the helpless, fighting the enemies of the Empire, and all while hiding the secret of his noble blood. It makes for a romantic story, and Orlesians love their romance. Sell Lord Évariste right, and we'll have all the wealthy ladies of Southern Relay eating out of his hand and ours. I'm trusting Josephine with this, 100%.
Let us begin.
Even if I'm kind of with Cullen in spirit, in terms of just let the guy be, but I don't know. I mean, maybe Alana from the start of the game would have done that, but running the Inquisition is tough, and I think you take every advantage you can if it's not. God, now I feel kind of a dick now that I'm saying it out loud. Anyway, draw out the Red Templar Lieutenant. Looks like Fairbanks was good on his word. The Freemen were helping the Red Templars smuggle red lyrium through the Dales. In exchange, they received gold and supplies, which was to go towards the furtherance of their cause. Their hopes were fueled, then exploited. We can end this by drawing out the Red Templars responsible for encouraging Ferelden activity. Liliana, the Red Templars know we've taken out the leaders, but the Freemen were all over the Dales. We'll pose as a surviving Freeman cell and re-establish connection with the Red Templars, asking for a meeting to receive further instruction. Cullen, the Red Templars have already sent reinforcements to the Emerald Graves to protect their operation there. We can capture some of these reinforcements, deny them lyrium long enough, and they'll talk. I think Liliana has the more elegant solution here. Last thing I want to check this session is to see if I'm right about the agent and perk thing. So I'm looking for Mr. Alexius. I'm looking for, like, Fairbanks should now be a... Here we are, yeah. The rebel Fairbanks has close ties with the commoners in the Dales, and his familiarity with the Emerald Graves will contribute significantly to the Inquisition efforts to influence the area. Reduce by 5% the time it takes for Josephine to complete operations. Okay, so it's I kind of like that. It's mostly the agent thing is mostly just flavor. Like, because I'm not benching the game. If I were, then like the time reduction would probably have a bigger deal. But mostly it's just flavor, and I'm okay with that. So that's going to be it for me for now. Thank you for watching. Next time we will continue back in the we'll pick up kind of the War Council stuff. And then we'll continue in the Dales, looking at pushing up north to these camps and the Astrarium quests up in this area. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.